Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. So we are on the lecture 4 of programming fundamental course. Inshallah, today we are going to discuss arrays, references and pointers. These are advanced topic and their applications are everywhere. Topics or concepts such as references and arrays are also widely used in other programming languages such as Python, Java, etc. So you should have a very sound grip of this topic, and you should feel comfortable in applying these concepts, because in practical programming you will face problems that need C++ references and C++ arrays. So with that, let us see the outline of today's lecture. Inshallah, today we are going to discuss omitting array size, omitting elements on declaration, C++ references and C++ pointers. We are discussing C++ arrays from the last lecture, and a lot of concepts related to arrays are already discussed. But today we are going to discuss some more topics that are related to array. So the first one is what if we omit the array size? So what will happen, or how the compiler works, or how the memories are allocated to different elements of array when we omit the array size. So you don't have to specify the size of the array. So it's not mandatory that every time in the declaration you specify the size of array. But if you don't, it will be as big as the element that are inserted into. So if you don't mention the array size, so it will be like the size of your array will be as big as the elements that are inserted into it. So for example, we have declared an array called cars, and we have not mentioned the array size, so we are omitting the array size. So in square brackets you can see that there is no array size. So what should we do? Like, what will happen if you do not mention the array size? So here in this case, the size of the array will be as big as the element that are inserted into it. So we have Volvo, BMW, Ford. So the array size is 3. So the number 3 will be inserted here later in the right time. So the size of array will always be remain 3. So you will not be able to increase the size of array or decrease the size of array. So this is completely fine. However, the problem arises if you want extra space for future elements, then you have to override the existing value. So if you want some more data, some more value inside this array cars, then you have to override the existing value. So you have to override these data and insert some other data. So obviously you might lost or you might delete your important data. So for example, you are declaring you want Mazda and Tesla to be also the elements of cars array, then it is possible, and you might remove this array, remove this declaration, and you have to redeclare your array and declare it as cars, assignment operator, and in curly braces you have to then mention the name of cars: Volvo, BMW, Ford, Mazda and Tesla. Now the size of array is 5, starting from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you specify the size, however, the array will reserve the extra space. So for example, you are specifying the size, in this case it is 5, so and you are inserting only three elements in the cars. So in this case the array will reserve the extra space. So we have 2 extra space. The size of array is 5, even though it is only 3 elements inside, but later on you can insert the 2 elements inside this car array. So now you can add the 4th and 5th element without overwriting the others. So in our case, cars 3, it means that at location number starting, if we start from 0, 1, 2, 3, at location 3 we will be having Mazda, and at location 5 we will be having Tesla. So now we can insert the other value if you want to add them. But if you are not adding these values, so there will be garbage data inside those extra location, and like it will be like if you are not using it throughout the execution of your C++ program, so it will be wastage of space. So you have to like make a trade-off to how to like declare the size of array and what elements do you need at the point of declaration. So here is an example. You can run this example in code blocks. We start by the header files. Remember, the header files contains the built-in classes, the built-in method function that are used in your program. For example, the header file iostream, input output stream, have classes or methods that help the cout statement or the scene statement to retrieve or to display the data on the input, to retrieve the data from the input device and then to display the data on the output device. So similarly, we have a string header file. So this string header file is usually used to, like, if you want to declare string, then you have to use this header file. And then we have namespace std. So these namespace contain the standard namespace contain all the definition of the functions and the methods, and you do not have to rewrite them again and again. So here we have a string, we have an array of type string called cars having 5 elements: Volvo, BMW and Ford. And now what we do that we initialize it to 3 values, but later on you can insert Mazda and Tesla at location number 3 and 4. And using for loop, you can retrieve the data from array. So car of I is Volvo, car of at the first time, and then at the second time, the value of I becomes 1. So BMW will be displayed, then 3, Ford will be displayed. For like the value of 3, Mazda will be displayed, and then the value of 4, Tesla will be displayed. And when this condition is false, we go to the next statement after the body of the for loop. So you can like run this program on code blocks. I already told you that whatever C++ programs we are discussing, it is your assignment to run it on the code block, and inshallah I'll check this assignment when we have when this quarantine period is over. So omit elements on declaration. What if we omit the elements on the declaration? We just declare the array and just tell the compiler that the size of array is 5 or 6 or whatever. So here in this program we have cars having the value of 5. So now we can later on we can initialize this array to any value that we want. So this is also possible. You can omit the elements even in declaration, and once you have assigned these values, you can then use the for loop to retrieve the data from the array. Okay, I'm going to like see the time. Okay, we still have a lot of time. So all right, so we can omit the elements on declaration, and then I mean we are going to discuss, we are going to talk about arrays more inshallah in the future lecture. We are going to discuss 2-dimensional arrays and how to retrieve or insert data into array using loops, and how to retrieve data from loops, and how to like display different patterns, how to like work with array. But for now, we are going to discuss another important topic, which is called C++ references. Now, references are the addresses. Whenever you heard this term reference, a reference means address. Just as you have a home address in computer or in programming, a memory location also have an address, and that is unique. Every memory address is unique. So a reference variable is a reference to the existing variable, and it is created with the ampersand operator. So once again, a reference variable is a reference to an existing variable. So it means that you have address variable, and that variable holds the address of existing variable, and it is created with ampersand sign. So if it is like very much weird to you, this sentence is difficult to you, we will understand it by the example. So for example, we have a food like variable, it is of type string, and then we can say that string ampersand sign meal assignment operator food. Then what does it mean? It means that we are assigning the address of food to the meal variable. So inside the meal variable we are storing the address of the food variable. Now we can use either the variable name food or the reference name meal to refer to the food variable. So how does it look? Let me tell you. So here is an example. I'm going to run this example on code blocks. Again, we are declaring a food variable, and it is of type string, and the value is pizza, and then we are assigning the address of food to another variable called meal using ampersand sign operator. So yes, if we inside the meal we have the address of the food variable. So if we display them, then you will see that the value pizza is displayed in both the case. So let me also practically implement this program. So I'm going to open the code blocks. Wait for a second. Okay, I'm going to create a new project. Just me. Next, and I'm going to say reference variable, and here we have this built-in generated source code. I'm going to copy this code. I hope that this will have no error, and then I'm going to compile it. Okay, that's good, we have no error. Now the question is, what will be displayed when we execute these two statements, cout food, cout meal. So let me compile and run. So you can see that pizza is displayed both the time. Why? Because once you just write the name of the variable, whereas in the second case you displayed meal, but meal is now containing the address of food. So what will happen? The your compiler will go to the address that is inside this meal variable, and whatever is stored in that address, that value will be displayed. So meal has an address, remember. So this compiler will go to that address. Let me diagrammatically show it to you. So we have a memory location somewhere. This is your memory location, and now meal, this variable, has the address of that memory location. So the compiler will go to that address and will display whatever is inside this memory location. So inside this memory location you are holding the pizza value, so pizza will be displayed, and meal is containing the address of a food variable. And this is this address has a name of food. Like we have an address, but this address is of a food variable. So remember, whenever you declare a variable, there are four things connected to it. One is the memory location, the other one is the name of the variable, the address of the variable, and then the data type of the variable. So the data type of variable is also important. So here in our case, the data type of variable is string. Okay, C++ memory addresses. So addresses, you are going to learn, or you are going to see that addresses are everywhere. And in order to become a good programmer, you have to know exactly what are the different concepts related to addresses. How can you use the address variable, how to get the address of a variable, especially when you are working with arrays. So then addresses becomes very important. So in the example from the previous page, the ampersand operator was used to create a reference variable, but it can also be used to get the memory address of a variable, which is the location of where the variable is stored on the computer. When a variable is created in a C++, a memory address is assigned to the variable. And when we assign a value to the variable, it is stored in this memory address. To access it, use the ampersand sign operator, and the result will represent where the variable is stored. So you can also display the address of a variable. This and these sentences is telling about like how to use the ampersand sign operator in order to display the address. Remember, I told you that when you declare a variable, there are some things that are created for variable. The first thing is the memory location. The second thing is an address is assigned to that memory location, and the third thing is a name is given to memory location. And of course, you also tell that what will be the data type of this variable. So in order to display the value inside the variable, you just write the variable name. But in order to display the address of a variable, you can also use this ampersand sign operator with the variable, and the result will be displayed. So here in our case, once again I'm going to run this program as well. So we have, if you write cout ampersand sign food, so let me show it on this same window. Cout ampersand sign food \n. So what will happen? You are going to run it. So here you can see that the address of the memory location in hexadecimal notation has been displayed. So this is how you can get the address of the variable where the variable contents are stored. But remember, you might get a different address than what I have seen on my computer. This is because your computer can have different addressing mechanism. It can have different type of memory, different type of architecture, and my computer have a different type of architecture. So note the memory address is in hexadecimal form. It is like OX represented by OX. Let me once again. Okay, that window is now. Let me once again run it. So it is in OX. That means that it is in hexadecimal notation form. Note that you may not get the same result in your program. So you may get another hexadecimal address. And why it is useful to know the memory addresses, references, and pointers, which we are going to learn later, are important in C++ and in other languages because they give you the ability to manipulate the data in the computer's memory, which can reduce the code and improve the performance. Okay, let me once again repeat. References and pointers are important in C++ programming because they give you the ability to manipulate the data in computer's memory, which can reduce the code and improve the performance. So obviously, if you are writing a C++ program, then you have to look for the how efficient your program is. So by efficiency means how much time it will take to perform a specific task. So if a specific task is efficiently done, or it is done in less amount of time, so then obviously your program has a great performance and your computer has a great performance. So keep this thing in mind, that pointers and these reference variable can help you in reducing the code size and increasing the performance of your computer system. Okay, we are inshallah going to learn about C++ pointers inshallah in the next class, because I think we are running out of time. But for now, let me once again repeat that when you declared a variable, four things are connected to it. The first thing is the memory address, and the name of the variable, and then the location itself where the data is stored, and the last one is the data type. So the data type is also important. So keep these things in mind, because you will see these variables every time when you write a program. So variable have a memory location, it has the name, associated address, and the type of variable. So with that, inshallah, I'm going to see you in the next class. Till then, Allah Hafiz and take care.